Hi, welcome to this evening's webinar. My name's Bobbie and I run YogaBellies, Kings Langley and Decorum here in Hertfordshire. So I joined YogaBellies 10 years ago, and it's safe to say my life has changed dramatically in that time. Back in 2011, I was not single, I was in a relationship, getting ready to get married, but no children. And I had, looking back now, all the time in the world for self-care. I could go to yoga every day. I had a solid meditation practice. I journaled religiously, and I was never short on time. Now, here we are, 2021. I have got two beautiful children, a 7 going on a 17-year-old and a 20-month-old. And yeah, life is quite hectic right now, especially with the lockdown and everything else that's going on. So what I wanted to share with you this evening are 5 tips to help you incorporate some more self-care into your life, even if you think you don't have time. Because believe you me, it is so important to find that time to look after yourself. I'm just going to start sharing the screen now. So hopefully you'll all be able to see that. So I'm very passionate about self-care, and I could list way more than 5 ways, but we're just going to touch on 5 different things this evening, and hopefully you can find time to bring them all in. But even if you just choose 1 or 2, it's a great place to start. So when we have a regular self-care routine, our batteries never run dry. You've probably heard the term, you can't pour from an empty cup. And that's so true. And as parents or partners, when we're giving and giving of ourselves all the time, if we don't take time to look after ourselves, we empty, we deplete our energy, and then we've got nothing for anybody. And it's a pretty hopeless situation to be in. It makes us feel more energized. I don't know about you, but when I've finished my yoga, or if I've done like a HIIT workout or something like that, I might not feel like it before. Like, you know, I have to set my alarm for 6:30 in the morning so I can get up and get my yoga practice in before the rest of the house wake up. And sometimes I really don't want to get out of bed. But by the time I've finished my yoga practice, I feel so good and I feel so much more energized, and I've got the energy to take on pretty much whatever the day has to throw at me. It will boost your confidence and make you feel good. And it will help you to prioritize things more effectively. And one of those things that you need to be prioritizing is you, putting yourself at the top of that list and making sure you're taking this time to look after yourself. And if you're a creative person, or if you have been creative in the past, you may find that as your family's grown, you have so much less time for that. And actually, once you start a regular self-care practice, those creative juices just start to flow. So here's my first tip: journal every morning. This is something I do religiously, and I find that it really, really helps me. And a lot of people always think, well, I don't have time for journaling. And these are some of the most common excuses here, or reasons why people don't keep a journal, because they believe they don't have time. Now, how long do you think you need to sit and write in your journal? Because it doesn't really need to be that long. I personally start every day with my journal. It's on my bedside. So before my feet even touch the floor in the morning, I just start by writing 3 things that I'm grateful for, because I'm sure you've all heard phrases like an attitude of gratitude brings great opportunity. Start each day with a grateful heart. And that is exactly what you're doing, simply by writing 3 things down. Maybe you hate writing and you avoid it wherever possible. Perhaps you're a more visual person. If you don't like writing, nobody says you have to write in your journal. You could write words and then you could doodle around it, create beautiful artwork and mindful doodles, and just pour whatever's in your head, whatever's in your heart onto the paper, because that is the purpose of your journal. I mean to, but I always forget. We all go through phases like that. But things like this need to become a habit. They need to become as much of our life as brushing our teeth. I've started so many journals, but I always abandon them. I have been there too. We start on the 1st of January with the best intentions in the world, and we write every day through January, and then February comes and we might miss a day or two here and there, but we think it's okay because I remember what I did, and I can go back and I can write. And by the time you get to March, you miss a week or 2 weeks at a time, and as you get into summer, it's like your journal, a distant memory almost. So it's really, really important to just set that habit. Now, it takes 40 consecutive days of doing something for it to become a habit. And once you get past that 40-day mark, the more you do it, the more ingrained that habit becomes in your life. So in your journal, there are so many things you can include. So compliments that others pay you. So specifically ones that provide you with validation. I was standing outside the dentist in the village yesterday, and one of my daughter's school friends walked past with her mum, and we had a quick, hi, how are you doing, kind of thing. And as they walked off, I heard her daughter say, "Was that Leilani's mummy?" And her mum said, "Yes." And she went, "Oh, I thought he was a teenager." Oh my goodness, that made my heart sing. Here I am, 38-year-old woman standing outside the dentist, just had a compliment and a half from a 6-year-old who thought I looked like a teenager. I don't know. Maybe it was the purple hair, the Doc Martens and the rainbow coloured jumper, but that was a compliment worthy of my journal, let me tell you. It could be things that have inspired you through your day. It might be something, a quote that you've seen somewhere and you want to remember. It might be an affirmation. It could be tasks that you've forgotten and that you need to remember. It could be an idea that's popped into your head, something that you want to maybe create. And most importantly, things and people that you're grateful for in your life. So the best way to start is to start small. We are all short on time now more than ever. So the best way to start is by just saying, I'm going to spend 5, maybe 10 minutes a day writing in my journal. Now, if you write at the start of your day 3 things you're grateful for, that will take you about 2 minutes. And then when you get into bed at the end of the day, you can come back to the journal and write 3 things that you're grateful for that happened during that day. So we wake up with gratitude in our hearts and we go to sleep with gratitude in our hearts. You could bring the journal down with you for your morning coffee, and you might just want to pour whatever's out in your head. This is your journal. This is your space. It's sacred to you. It's not for anybody else to see. So don't filter anything. Don't censor yourself. Just pour it all out onto the paper. So I've got quite a few journals. I'm going to show you a couple of, well, these are the 3 that I'm using at the moment. I don't know if you can see very well because it's quite small. I picked this one up in Aldi last week for £2.99. Self-care comes first. And I like it because it's got stickers. I'm a very visual person. And I like the fact that you have this 2-page spread for each week, and you've got like a weekly mantra. You've got 3 things that you want to do during the week. Then you've got your little mood, so you can draw your emojis depending on how you're feeling, and ticking whether you've had enough time outdoors or enough sunlight. I mean, okay, we don't get enough sunlight here in England, but just being outside generally. What you've done for me time, what you've listened to, what you've read. So it's just a lovely little journal. This is my daily, this is the one that lives on my bedside. This is the one that I write in every morning when I wake up and every night before I go to bed. And then I've got one more journal, which I don't use every day, but this is a lovely one. This is an affirmations journal. And in here, you've got lined pages, and then you've got some big kind of nice square pages, and we'll find one where you can literally draw kind of pictures and things. So it's a really lovely book. And actually, when I started this affirmation journal, I took time to dedicate the journal, and I wrote in the beginning, may this book encourage me to value myself, to care for myself as I deserve, and to celebrate myself. It is my friend and my support, because those of you that know. Those of you that don't, you need to get to know. But affirmations are really, really powerful. They're a great tool for self-development. It's just really good, positive talk, self-affirming, and just making stuff happen. But that's a selection of my journals. I love Etsy. I'm a big fan of Etsy. Most of the people that sell on Etsy are small, independent sellers. And as a small business person myself, I know that when you buy something from them, they're going to do a little happy dance. So they have a lovely selection there. These are just a few examples here. So give it a go. It is really, really worth it. If you start to journal religiously every day, you will have other benefits as well as feeling good. So it's going to improve your memory. Things that you write down in your journal, you might have forgotten if you didn't write them down. It will help to increase your creativity. It will help you to retrieve and access ideas and information that you might have otherwise forgotten. I'm a terrible one for that. If I don't write it down, you can bet your last pound I'm going to forget it. Remind you what you have to be grateful for. So in times like this, when everything just feels so hard, we still have so much to be grateful for, and just spending time reflecting on that will do you the world of good, and it will pick you up no end. And it will act as a reference. So every January, I look back to the previous year and I see what goals I set myself. And then I see, what of those goals have I achieved? What do I still need to achieve? Maybe they're not relevant anymore and I can move on, but it's a really good prompt. So on to the next thing, establishing a starting and quitting time and sticking to it. Now, when I talk about this, I'm talking in the sense of mobile phones, because we all have them, right? And they're loaded up with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and whatever else there is out there at the moment. And quite often, it's one of the first things people do in the morning is pick up their phone. And then we just start with that meaningless scrolling through the feed. Oh, who's doing this and who's doing that? And unfortunately, there's always a lot of stuff in the feed that we don't want to see. So establish a start time. Say to yourself, I am not going to look at my phone within the first hour of getting up in the morning. And the same thing for the end of the day, particularly if you're self-employed. I'm guilty of this myself, I must confess, posting things on Instagram at 11:30 at night when you should be in bed. So set yourself a cut-off time. Work's going to finish at 6 p.m, 5 p.m, whenever. My social stuff is going to finish at 9:30, and then that's it. Make sure you have at least an hour before you go to bed at night so that you can just tune out from the rest of the world and tune into yourself. Number 3, this is one of my favorites. Now, this is not so much a quick 5-minute self-care. However, we all need to wash. This is right here, my bathtub goals, rose quartz bathtub. Oh, how heavenly would that be? Get really excited just thinking about it. At £85,000 a pop, it'll probably be quite a long time before I can afford one. But you don't need to have a rose quartz bath. You can place crystals around your bath. You can fill your bath with oils, with foaming baths. You can make your own bath salts. It's something I do a lot, is creating bath salts to suit my mood and whatever I need. But as an empath, one of the problems I have is that I'm always picking up on other people's energies. And I know there are lots of you out there that are exactly the same. You feel like you're in a really good place and you feel really good, and then somebody walks into the room in a bad mood and instantly you come crashing down. So if you have yourself a bath with Epsom salts and Himalayan salts, it will actually clear your energy, your auric field, and it will make you feel so much better. So as well as being an essential part of your life, keeping yourself nice and clean, you can turn it into a self-care regime. I'm often in the bath with my bath caddy, a glass of wine, a good book, some music, lots of candles, crystals, and so on, and you can really make it special. Number 4, meditate. Now, as you've all been to YogaBellies classes, or maybe you're a teacher, you will have already experienced meditation in one form or another. And I just wanted to go over a few of the different types of meditation with you this evening. So meditation is really beneficial for everybody, and it's not religious, it's just a way of changing your mindset. So I'm going to go through 6 different types with you, just very briefly here. There are so many more, but I think we only have half an hour. So transcendental meditation is a style of meditation where you're sitting, you're focusing on the breath, and you're given a mantra. And throughout the meditation, you recite that mantra in your mind over and over and over again. And the practice of reciting that mantra, the idea is to lift your spiritual energy to a higher realm. That's not so much practiced as the ones that I'm going to follow up with. So guided meditation is the one you're most likely to have come across in your classes. This is where you are guided into a blissful state of relaxation by your lovely YogaBellies teacher, and you just go off somewhere, and it's wonderful because there's always something to focus on. You've always got their voice to come back to keep guiding you on that journey. One of my favorites is walking meditation. Now, not so much at the moment because it's very cold out there, but in the summer, when it's warm, there is nothing nicer than to take off your feet and just feel the earth beneath your feet, and to walk really slowly and really mindfully. And just take in your surroundings, whatever you can hear. Listen to the birds. Maybe you're fortunate enough to be by the sea and you can listen to the waves lapping up against the shore. And it's such a powerful kind of meditation, but it's so simple, and you can do it without even thinking that you need to spend any time doing it. Now, Kundalini meditation is another quite common one. If you've had any experience of Kundalini yoga, you will know that it's a very physical style of meditation. Every class you attend you'll be working through a set kriya, which will involve pranayama, chanting, breath work, and your various different postures. And it's very powerful. You almost always see your Kundalini yoga teachers wearing a scarf over their head. That's simply to contain the energy, because when you work with Kundalini yoga, you're raising that Kundalini energy up, and we need to try and keep that contained. Loving kindness meditation, or metta bhavana. This is a really lovely meditation, and it always starts with you. So you start your loving kindness practice just sending yourself loving kindness, and as you go through the practice, you start to extend that out to your loved ones, to your family, to your friends, out into the community, out into the world. And then the tricky part, to those people in your life that you don't really get along with, or maybe you have a severe disliking for, who knows, and that's really challenging. But I can tell you from experience that the energetic shift that takes place when you can actually get out of your head and send loving kindness to the people you don't like is quite powerful. So it's worth a try. And finally, mindfulness meditation. This is a practice of just sitting and being completely present and in the moment. And we often think that to meditate, we have to empty our mind completely. Let me tell you now, it's never going to happen, because as humans, we have on average 70,000 thoughts per day. There aren't even that many minutes in a day. So how can you possibly expect yourself to empty your head? Being mindful is not about emptying your head. It's about being present. It's about acknowledging what's going on around you. And that's one thing that I found. I'm going to share just a quick meditation with you at the end of this session. Something that I found really helpful when I'm at home and everybody's at home and I can't find any peace and I'm trying to meditate and there's all this noise and you start to get frustrated. I don't know if any of you have come across that. But yeah, you can start to get really like, I just want to relax. I found a way to get around that, and I'm going to share that with you at the end of this session. So again, lots of benefits to meditating. It will help to reduce your stress levels, it will reduce anxiety, helps to give your immune system a boost, which even without COVID at this time of the year, that's so important, because this is the time of the year when we're all getting those horrible colds and flus and bugs going around. So just anything we can do to naturally boost our immune system is great. It'll help with insomnia. So if you are one of those people that struggle to get to sleep at night, try meditating before you go to bed, or practice some breath work. Consciously breathe. Breathe in for 4, breathe out for 8. Just slow everything down and give your mind a chance to switch off. And again, making sure you don't go anywhere near that mobile phone for at least an hour before bed will also help no end. It will help to reduce high blood pressure, increase your concentration, improve your overall well-being, encourage more positive thinking, and improve mental clarity. Ooh. So that last slide said to consciously make an effort to avoid the negative. And we all know that right now there is no end to the negativity out there. It comes pinging into our phones, I don't know how many times a day. And part of looking after yourself is deciding how much of that you actually want to take in. So one of the first things I would suggest is not necessarily to ignore the news completely, because we need to know what's going on, but just limit your exposure to the news. If you're getting updates throughout the day, every half an hour, every hour, and just turn it off. If it's bringing your attention and it's taking you out of your happy space, just turn it off. TV, watch what you need to watch, but I really think that there's a lot of fear out there and we need to just look after ourselves a little bit more. Similarly, there's lots of TV programs that are very negative. And on the other end of the scale, there are some really incredible titles. I've seen movies and documentaries on various different viewing platforms that are really, really inspirational and uplifting and informative. There's so much good stuff out there to watch, things that will make you feel good. So don't spend time watching things that are going to make you feel sad and miserable. The next one, maybe not quite so relevant at the moment because it won't happen, but we all have that one friend, don't we, that is a bit of a negative Nancy. Or maybe they live this life like they're really super positive, but for some reason, whenever you're with them, as much as you love them, they drain your energy completely. So if you're having one of those days where you're just feeling a little bit low on energy yourself, don't be afraid to turn down an invitation to hang out with that friend. Just, politely say, I'm really sorry, not today. Maybe we can meet up next week, and meet up when you feel like you're in a better space, because there's nothing worse than having low energy levels anyway, and then spending an afternoon with someone that completely depletes whatever's left, and then you you get home and you just don't know what to do with yourself. Similarly, we all have people in our friends lists that like to whine on social media and wash their dirty laundry. I always think that a true friend will actually reach out and, make contact and make sure people are okay. But there's certainly a lot of negativity on social media. And if you feel like that's okay, then that's fine. But if you feel that it's drawing you down, that it's lowering your energy and making you feel bad, just unfollow people. You don't need to block them or unfriend them, but just unfollow them so that your feed can hopefully start to be filled with more positive things and less negativity. Ditch the negative self-talk. That's a huge one because we are all guilty of it, aren't we? How many times have you said to yourself, I'm not good enough? Oh, I don't know enough. I couldn't possibly do that. I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm not worthy. It's all crap, it's utter crap. You are worthy, you're perfect just as you are, and you need to start bigging yourself up more. And some way that you can do this is when you're cleaning your face in the morning. Now, I don't know if you have time to do a full facial routine. Maybe it's just a wet wipe and a bit of moisturizer. That's quite often the case for lots of us mums. But as you're applying your moisturizer, yeah, sure, we've all got some lines and they're increasing by the day. Don't acknowledge your lines, acknowledge the softness of your skin. As you're rubbing in your cream, just, compliment yourself on how soft your skin feels, how beautiful your eyes are, your eyes that allow you the gift of sight to see the world around you, to see your family. And as you're putting on your makeup, same thing. Just really take in how beautiful you are. So whilst we're busy eradicating negativity in our life, there are ways we can bring more positivity and more good feelings into our life. And one of those ways is to give to charity or do charity work. So you may not at this moment in time be financially able to donate, but there are so many ways you can help out, and there are so many charities out there as well. I'm a tree sister, and every bit of money that we raise goes to reforestation in the Amazon and all over the world. And we have lots of things going on, lots of tree planting activities here in the UK as well. So as I said, you don't necessarily have to give money to help out with charities. Give more. And I don't just mean physical things, but giving of yourself, giving your time, giving your energy, sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, your skills. If you know somebody locally or a friend of yours that's just trying to start up a business and you have some knowledge or some skill that can help them, give your time. We don't give to receive, we give because giving feels good. And naturally, the law of the universe, the more we give, the more we'll receive. It's a cycle. And finally, compliments. So think back to the last time you were out and you got a compliment from a random stranger. And just think about how good it made you feel. So you have the power to make other people feel that good. And you could completely change somebody's day. Just a simple compliment, whether you like their jacket or their shoes, or they've got some funky leggings, they've got some funky hair. Every time I leave the house, I make a point of saying something nice to one person. And I like to think that then they'll pay it forward and they'll say something nice to somebody else. And then so it goes on. Just pay it forwards. So those are my 5 tips for incorporating some more self-care into your life, even though you think you don't have time. And we've got a little bit of time for some Q&As. I'm not sure how many people are on right now, but if you are on and you do have a question, feel free to just pop yourself off mute and fire it at me. And once we've had our questions, we'll move on to just a short meditation just to finish the session. Okay, so I don't think there's anybody on with any questions at the moment, so we'll move on and we'll just finish with that meditation. And this is the one I mentioned earlier that I've found so useful during lockdown when there's so much going on around me in the house. And I hope that you will find it useful too. So if you want to just take a moment, find a comfortable seat. Let the hands rest wherever they want to rest. And let the eyes close. Begin to notice your breath, not trying to change it, simply observing. Noticing the sensation, the coolness of the inhale, and the gentle warmth of the exhale. And allow yourself, just for the next few moments, to be completely present. Dropping into your body. And then open your awareness to your surroundings. And find just one sound. And for the next moment or so, really concentrating on that one sound. And then letting that sound go. Now trying to find another sound that you can isolate within your surroundings. And then really focus on that sound for a few moments. Letting that sound go now. And sending your awareness a little further away, perhaps noticing a sound that's outside of the room or outside of the house. And now opening your awareness to all of the different sounds, the entire soundscape that surrounds you. And know that right here, right now, all is well. Nothing needs to change. Just let it be. When you sit and practice this meditation for yourself, you can spend as much time as you like or as much time as you have. But for now, I'll finish with a nice deep inhale. Exhaling completely. So I hope you found this evening's session useful and got something from it. That particular meditation I use a lot. And what I've realized was the sounds that I thought were annoying and disturbing my meditation practice were actually the joyful sounds of my children. And you don't get much better than that, do you? So be present. Enjoy the moments. Stay safe, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Namaste.